Let me ask you, when you invest, why do you actually do it? Have a think about that. Usually we do it to create more money, right? And more time for ourselves. But have you ever watched someone invest a lot of time and invest a lot of money into something and still be worse off? I know I have. Heck, I've been there myself. It hurts and it sucks. And it happens all of the time. And it's because when we see or hear someone who has achieved an incredible result, we think, I can do that too. But what usually happens is because we're complete beginners, we go away and jump into that thing head first and completely miss the risks and the expenses that come with it. And these critical things that we weren't actually told about. So this is why in this video, I wanna share with you how flipping websites cost you more time and more money and what you can do instead. Now, I've taught hundreds of people to buy websites before, so I get the appeal of flipping websites. I really do. And you can make a quick buck from it, and that's very, very attractive. Everybody wants a quick buck, but in this video, I'm not just gonna tell you why and how flipping websites is costly as an exercise without giving you an alternative, of course. I wouldn't leave you high and dry like that. So I wanna share with you what I like to do myself and what you can do instead that will make your life that much easier, and you'll see why shortly. So if you'd like to hear my investment strategy, please share some YouTube love with me and hit that like button. First up, how does flipping websites actually cost you more time? The first thing is finding another website to buy. Once you've bought and flipped or sold a website, then you're back to the drawing board. You need to find another website to buy, and that takes time. You need to find something in the niche that you want, in the business model you want, the multiple that you want, the price that you want, and a lot of different metrics that you should have for your investment strategy or your investment guidelines, I say. Now, finding another website to buy actually takes time. In my membership, a lot of people usually take 3 to 6 months to find and buy a website. That's a fair bit of time, right? Now, of course, you can say, well, Jared, they're beginners, and they are. They're complete beginners. But for myself personally, when I go to find and buy another website I want to buy to add to my portfolio, sometimes it takes more than a month. Sometimes it takes more than 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months to find the right website business for myself to buy. Then I move on to the next phase. Once I've found a business I think is good enough for me to do due diligence on, then I need to spend that time doing due diligence on it. Now for myself, because I've done this so many times, I can do this quite quickly. But when you're learning, it takes a fair bit of time to do due diligence, and you will then have to exclude a lot of businesses. So it's not just finding the business, but it's also spending that time doing due diligence. And then if it doesn't pass your due diligence checklist, then it's back to the drawing board. Then there's some more time that we add to the board. When you actually buy the business, then you need to learn another whole new niche. If you buy in a new niche, you need to learn that niche. You also need to learn the growth strategies that have worked for that business before. You need to learn how to operate the business. You need to learn how to optimize the business. You need to learn how to speak to the target demographic of that business. Even if it's a content site, e-commerce, membership, or whatever it is, you need to learn another whole new business, its processes and systems, and how it could possibly grow. And then work out how it will grow, which brings me to my next point. Sometimes the work you know how to do on other websites that you've owned that have helped you to grow those previous websites you've owned may not work as well when you come and bring that into a new business that you bought. So that growth strategy that you worked with and used and worked really well on your previous business, if you go to try and plug that same strategy into the business that you just bought, there's no saying that it's specifically and exactly going to work the same way or get the right results or the results that you actually want from that business. Yes, you can have leverage and understanding and knowledge of that particular niche and that particular type of business model, but who's to say it's going to work for every single type of business? And that may mean you need to work out another way to grow the business, which can cost you time as well. Then it comes time to sell the business once you've grown it and you're ready to flip it. What happens when you sell the business is you lose the momentum of that business from all the good work that you put into it. What do I mean by that? When you sell a business, you don't want to sell the business after it's at the top and dip down. And it's really hard to predict the top of the business. So you want to sell the business when it's got a good growth trajectory, right? When you've got at least 3 to 6, maybe 9 months of good solid growth and a good upwards trend. This is going to allow more people to be interested in purchasing the business, which means you're probably going to sell it for a decent price, and you don't have to worry about holding onto the business and having it drop because it's on a good growth trajectory. So that means when you sell it to somebody else, that growth trajectory and that compounding of all the work and the effort and sometimes the money that you put into the business gets transferred to the new owner. So that actually, you don't get all the rewards from that. That can cost you time as well. Lastly, selling the website does take time. It's not just when you sell the website, but the time that you need to spend in selling a website takes time. So this could be, even if you are working with a broker, sometimes you need to schedule calls with the potential buyers, and you may need to have multiple calls with them. If you're selling this on your own, then you need to create a prospectus. You need to create all the data and the information and put it presentable and make it presentable enough for somebody who's looking at purchasing the business. Then you need to spend time answering their questions, helping them and guiding them through to learn more about your business, with the chance that they may not actually go away and purchase the business. So you need to do that with multiple people. So selling a website does take time. Now picture doing that whole process with just one business. Finding one to buy, going through and doing the due diligence, learning how to grow a site, and then having to flip it and sell it and all that sort of stuff. Imagine doing it with one business. And then compound that on each deal. As that compounds, it may take 3 months to buy a business, may take 2 months to sell it, it may take X amount of months to grow it. It adds up to being a lot of time on each deal. That compounding really adds up. So that's something to think about. In a second, I'm going to tell you how much money it can cost to flip multiple website businesses, but please let me know in the comments below. Are you a fan of putting the compounding in your favor or against you? Let me know what you think about compounding in the comments below. I'm very curious because I may actually make a video on compounding and how to use this relevant to buying websites. Next up is, how does it cost you more money to flip websites? The first thing, selling the website. Now, if you sell the website through a broker, well, obviously there's a commission, right, that you need to pay, which I believe that you should do it. If you're gonna sell a good business that you have, I believe it's worth selling it through the broker, because they'll make a commission on the deal, but they'll probably be able to make you more money and save you time. And that's what I really think is critical, is the money and the time. These are very valuable resources, time being far more valuable than money, in my opinion. And when you're trying to sell the business yourself, then you spend a lot of time doing that. So I believe if you can sell the website, sell it through the broker. Now, if you don't sell it through the broker, there's a listing fee that you need to pay, right? Wherever you decide to sell it. So say you're gonna sell it on Flipper, you need to pay a listing fee. Say you need to sell it on privately, there's a fee in time that you're gonna need to pay. But you are gonna need to pay a fee if you're listing it on a marketplace or if you're selling it through a broker. Secondly, the tax. The tax that you make on the profit of the business, unless you sold it at a loss, which could be a tax advantage, but you will need to pay tax on the profit of the business you made. Usually this is called capital gains tax. So each time that you do this, think about how much tax you're gonna need to pay when you sell a business that you actually made a profit on. So a lot of people forget about the tax and they think, I sold a business for X amount or more, that's how much more money I made. Well, hang on a second, you had costs like the commission and also the tax. That's something to consider. Thirdly, buying another website costs money. Now, when you go away and flip a website business, you may sell that website business for more than you bought it for, but you will pay that tax on it, and then you need to go away and buy another business. So that can become expensive as well. Now, I talked about the time that goes into it, but actually having the funds after paying tax available to go away and buy a website is another story. Fourthly, we have the cost of growing a new online business. Now, it may not be completely new, but a business that you bought, the cost of growing it. Now, sometimes you don't actually get the momentum from the previous business, right? That you don't get to the momentum from the seller, but also when you sell a business, you flip it. What you don't have is you don't have the momentum from the previous business that of all the work that you put into. That's not going to carry over to the business that you've just bought. You're starting at ground zero again, with each new website you buy. So the cost of growing this website becomes more and more expensive, because as that compounds over time, you need to put, say, X amount into it for every single business, but you don't get the full rewards back on that X amount you put into each business, because like I said, you need to sell that business when you flip it on a growth trajectory. And this can end up costing you more money as well. So let me wrap all that up as, I guess, a type of conclusion for you. When you buy one website, you sell it, you buy another one, and the price you pay may not be that significant in terms of the price you pay money-wise and time-wise. When you buy one and you sell one, it may not be that significant, right? Because it's just one. But when you buy multiple websites over and over again, the time it takes to buy and sell multiple sites, as well as the broker's commissions and the fees and the tax on the profit that you pay, and then buying another website, everything that goes into that in terms of due diligence, finding it, speaking to lots of sellers, all of this extra time and money compounded over the years ends up being a lot of time and a lot of money. Am I against flipping websites? No, not completely. I don't think though that there is a time and a place for buying and a time and a place for selling. And personally, the least amount of times that I need to do that with my portfolio, buying and selling, the more time I have, and also the more money I keep. And one of the most important things is the more positive compounding I keep in my favor. And that is the secret sauce of any smart investor, is putting time on your side, putting compounding on your side. With a long-term time frame, when you stack the odds in your favor, it makes it harder and harder for you to lose as time goes by. And when we invest, that's what our real goal should be, is to minimize our risk of actually losing on our investments and stacking the odds in our favor. So please, in the comments below, let me know, what do you think about compounding now? What do you think about stacking the odds in your favor? What do you think about longer term investing? And then what do you think about flipping? I know there's a lot of questions there, so you can just answer one, but in general, what do you think about this video? I'm very, very curious, because this isn't me making a point. This is me bringing up a discussion. I'd love to talk to you guys about this, because if there's more videos that I can make around this subject that's going to be helpful and beneficial to you in terms of different viewpoints, then I want to deliver. So please let me know in the comments below. YouTube watcher, what's up? It's Joe Kraus here, and if you watch this video up until now, please smash that like button, share some YouTube love with me. I really do appreciate it. And I also do appreciate you watching. I also want to ask you, please just consider it, maybe subscribing, because my commitment and exploration on YouTube is about to explode. I'm talking stories, polls, more amazing content, more surprise and delight, and this is the time to subscribe. So I do hope you consider it, and I hope to see you on the next video. See you later. Hey YouTube watcher, if you thought that video was good, you should check out this video here on the 2 best types of websites beginners should buy. Or check out my playlist on how I made my first 100K from buying websites and how to do due diligence. Check it out. It's an awesome playlist. You'll enjoy it.